In this video, a Reddit user shared a chilling story about his wife. My wife keeps hearing voices at night. She says they can bring our son back. The first episode came out of nowhere. I woke up in the middle of the night and my wife was gone. I found her in the living room staring at the ceiling and corners as if tracking a bug. I asked her what was going on. "They were here," she replied. "Who's here?" I asked again, but she didn't answer, just stared blankly into my eyes. I brought her back to bed although she barely slept. She kept whispering on her side. "They're here. They're here." The next morning on my way to work I called her physician, Dr. Pearson, an old man with a cartoonish mustache and tired voice. He said it was common for women who'd lost a child to suffer from sleep disorders. A symptom of depression, he explained. I told him the hallucinations were getting worse. He said it might be a bad reaction to her meds and that we could switch them. Since we lost our son Jack 6 months ago, nothing had been the same. I buried myself in work, and Lana shut down completely. But things were escalating. She started wandering outside, not just the apartment but out into the halls, the street. Once, she vanished completely. I knocked on every neighbor's door at 2 in the morning, begging them to help. I found her at sunrise on the rooftop standing near the edge. She was pointing at an abandoned transmission tower on the far horizon, mumbling something I couldn't make out. Each time I found her, she was talking to someone I couldn't see. I started to fear it was full-blown psychosis. Dr. Pearson's new prescription worked at first. She slept through the night with no wandering or whispers. She woke up the next morning, sluggish, but quiet. We even had breakfast and laughed once or twice. That lasted 5 nights. Then I woke again to an empty bed, found her on the balcony, whispering something. But when I stepped closer to bring her back, I swear I saw something, like 2 white points in the dark, like eyes, and she was talking to that. The second I called her name, it vanished, and I wondered if I was hallucinating too. She immediately turned to me, eyes wet, smiling. "They can bring him back," she whispered. "Who?" "Jack," she said, voice cracking. "They promised." That broke me. She hadn't said our son's name in months, not even by accident. The next day I stormed into Dr. Pearson's office. I told him nothing was working, that I was falling apart. He listened, calm, said he'd gotten new equipment, something that could help detect deeper neurological damage. He offered to run a scan that same day. I brought her in that afternoon. She looked lighter in the car, not talkative, but hopeful. I think part of her believed that Jack could come back. Right before walking into Dr. Pearson's office, she kissed me, a light kiss. "I love you, honey," she said, then disappeared behind the door. That kiss stayed with me the rest of the day. It had been a long time since she kissed me like that. When I came back to pick her up, hopeful, I noticed all the lights were off in the building. The office was completely locked. With no sound inside, I called her, called Pearson, no answer from either of them. His number was suddenly inactive, like it had never existed. I left in a rush and drove straight to the nearest hospital. Something must have happened. Nothing. Then I tried another one. Still nothing. By the time I hit the third, it was nearly midnight and I hadn't found a single clue of where they went. No record of her checking in anywhere. I drove home in a panic. Every worst-case scenario ran through my head. Should I call the police? Then I remembered the rooftop, the place she went the last time I couldn't find her. I ran up, and she wasn't there either. I gripped the ledge with both hands, head down, breath broken and desperate. Then I saw it in the distance. The tower. The same one she stared at so intensely that day. It was far out, across a field of dirt, barely visible. But this time, a white light pulsed from its tip, like a beacon. I was sure there hadn't been any light on it that day. It was supposed to be abandoned. Could Lana be there? I jumped in the car and headed toward it. The GPS showed a thin dirt road barely visible on the map, and it ended before reaching the tower. I had to park and walk a few yards to reach it. As soon as I got there, I found something that made my pulse spike. There was another car. It looked a lot like Dr. Pearson's. I ran to the tower like I haven't since I was a kid. Before I even reached it, I saw 2 silhouettes at the base of it, standing still in the dark. "Lana!" I shouted, and one of the figures turned slowly while the second didn't move. It was Lana, and I ran up to her, euphoric. Her face was lit faintly by the moonlight, and she didn't smile as I hugged her with all my strength. She didn't react at all, just stared at me like I was interrupting something. "What are you doing here?" she asked, blank. "I came to get you," I said, gripping her arms. "Come on, let's go home." "You need to leave," she said. "They're almost here." "What are you talking about?" I looked at the other person. But it wasn't a person, it was a dark shape like a shadow. Formless and with 2 white points as eyes coming out from its body. I was petrified when I saw it. It was the same eyes I'd seen on the balcony. A voice came from it, deep and ethereal. "It's time, Lana." The light at the top of the tower grew stronger, now almost blinding me. It swallowed the trees, the ground, and us. "What is that?" I asked her, trying to pull Lana out of it. "Lana, we need to leave." "I'll tell Jack you love him," she said, standing still. I froze. "I'll tell them you'll come find us," she repeated. "No," I said, grabbing her hand. "You're coming with me." The light flared hotter, washing out everything. My grip tightened on her hand. Then a sound, like thunder cracking inside my bones, so loud I had to instinctively cover my ears and my eyes shut for a second. And when I opened them, the light was gone. So was Lana. So was the thing that had taken her, the dark shape. I was left there confused, in silence. The tower had completely shut off its light. I looked around, breath stuck in my throat, nothing moved, I couldn't hear a thing. There was just darkness, and me, alone in it. Credits story shared by a Reddit user, adapted for narration,